What's up, y'all? It's your man, Dad Dude, bringing you guys another video. So Baker Mayfield obviously did not play well against the Ravens. Now, a small defense of Baker is that the line did not have a great game, and one of his interceptions wasn't entirely his fault. But as we've seen throughout almost all of Baker's starts, when the pocket was clean, he didn't manage it well, and he was also very inaccurate on some of his throws. He just all around didn't have a great game, regardless of what the team around him did. Like you can't say the defense didn't give Baker and the offense plenty of opportunities to put up points and to be successful. They did. The defense played about as well as you can hope against a Ravens offense with a dynamic quarterback like Lamar Jackson. And Baker just wasn't able to lead the offense to any kind of success. Even the running game was struggling, and I believe that's in part due to because when PJ's in the game, the defense has to worry about PJ keeping the ball and PJ being a rushing threat. When you have Baker in there, Baker is not that same kind of rushing threat. So the defense can really, focus on Deontay Foreman or Chuba Hubbard. So the running game just isn't as good. But the big question that comes out of this game is Baker's career as a starter over? And in my opinion, it's really looking that way, because if he's with the Panthers, his career is done. Like, the Panthers are not going to bring him back next year. I just can't see that happening under any circumstance. But if you're another team in the league, do you bring Baker in as your starter for a year? Like, you might bring him in and he competes at training camp and he manages to beat someone out. He starts the season that way. But I can't see another team bringing Baker in as the guaranteed starter. I just don't think it happens. Maybe if you're a team who's trying to tank, you bring Baker in, but I don't see a team bringing Baker in with any expectation that he starts and that he's a successful starter. I just don't think it happens, and that is a big downturn in his career, being that the guy was a number 1 overall pick. Yeah, he wasn't great in Cleveland, but he had some successful seasons. But if you look at him now, it's just not looking good for him, and I don't think he's going to get another opportunity where he has any kind of promises that he's going to be the starter. It definitely won't be with the Panthers. I can't think of another team that brings him in. Like the Texans are probably going to try to draft a quarterback this year. Detroit is probably going to try to draft a quarterback this year. I'm trying to think of quarterback needy teams like the Falcons. They drafted Desmond Ridder. Maybe they see something in him, but if they don't, they might try to get a quarterback this year in the draft. And if they get that quarterback in the draft, you're not going to bring in Baker. Or maybe those teams bring in Baker as like a backup or maybe a bridge guy. But even then, I just don't see that as likely, because while I like Baker's personality, like I do like Baker, despite the fact that I'm not a Baker fan, I didn't think he was a good quarterback. I thought he was average quarterback, and I was still wrong. But I like his personality. I like players that are different and that don't feel the need to be fake humble and they're afraid to give quotes because they don't want to put up bulletin board material and all that, that bull. Like, it's just, I like players that are different. Baker's different. I like his personality. But I can see why some teams wouldn't want to bring in a guy who is going to be competing for a starting job who has such a big personality. And I think those teams are wrong in that train of thought, but that doesn't change the fact that a lot of teams are going to have that train of thought. So I don't see Baker getting another opportunity to be a starter anytime soon. Like, maybe he might have to go the Geno Smith route, where he's a backup kind of journeyman. He travels around to a few different teams. He's the backup role. And then once the starting quarterback goes down or something happens, he gets to step in and show what he can do. And that would be probably his best chance to get another starting job. Like Geno Smith, he has performed so well this year. Nobody saw it coming. He's probably going to get a contract from either the Seahawks or another team. And Geno Smith is going to be a starter for at least a few more years, I guess. That is something that he worked towards, and he put in the time and effort. And he worked himself from being a backup journeyman to now he's going to be a starting quarterback again in the league. Maybe Baker can do the same thing. Maybe Baker goes kind of the Ryan Fitzpatrick role, where he travels around as a backup. Then if somebody gets hurt, comes in, he plays well. Maybe he gets like a 1-year deal to be a starter somewhere. But that is his best chance to be a starter again in the league, because just based off how bad he was last year and how bad he's been this season, it's definitely not going to come from the Panthers. And right now, I don't see a team in the league that would bring him in as their quarterback number 1. I just don't see it. That's what I have for you in this one, guys. If you enjoyed this video, go hit that thumbs up. And if you are so inclined, subscribe and leave a comment. I respond to almost everything. And I will see you guys in the next one.